Hey everybody, so today I am starting another resin bowl project. This one is going to be a Starry Night kind of theme as far as the colors go, and I think the wood I picked out is going to really play into that. So I'm going ahead and mixing up my Alumilite clear slow resin. I'm using that again. Altogether this is going to be a fairly large pour. In total it's going to be 2,800 milliliters of resin, and that's going to be a single pour. But right now I am mixing it in 4 different batches, and there's going to be one more batch that I have not mixed up yet because I decided I needed a little more just to kind of cover the top. So the colors I'm using, they're all going to be mica powders today. You can see I've got some white here, and that's going to be for kind of swirls through the main color, as well as this yellow. I'm just doing small batches of these because, like I said, I just want these to kind of swirl through the main colors, which are going to be mostly purples and blues. So this is just a straight purple mica powder on this one. I think it's a grape. And then the next one we're doing is going to be a mix of 2 different mica powders. It's this sapphire blue and this red. And I just really like the kind of richness that it gives the purple. So that's why I'm doing that. So we're going to go ahead and start pouring, and I'm just alternating the different colors as I go just so they kind of mix in and swirl and I don't have any solid blocks. The piece of wood that's in here is a chunk of spalted crabapple. I think it was a blossoming or flowering crabapple tree. I had it in my front yard when I first moved in, and I cut it down about 6 years ago. So this has been sitting for about 5 years outside, and then it's been sitting in my basement for a year. So this is a fairly dry piece of wood. I also had it in the oven for a little while, about a week before I started this project. So it's nice and dry. At this point I have the majority of the resin in, and it's not quite covering the wood, so I mixed up another batch. This is another 800 milliliters of resin, and I almost went with a straight blue. It's got just a little bit of purple in it, but I really like the indigo color. So I'll just mix that in with the rest of these white and the yellow resin to kind of get some swirls. So once this is all in, I'm going to throw a weight on top, and then into the pressure pot it goes. So the piece has been in the pressure pot for a few hours now. Um, I did end up adding a little bit to the top of just a regular purple. The level kind of sunk down and it was fairly uneven, so hopefully I don't get a just straight witness line. But you can see how well the yellows and the purples kind of swirled together. I'm really happy with how this blank turned out, and you can see there, even with that last pour not mixing in, the top was so uneven that it's not just a straight line in a lot of places. So I think this should be fine as far as the end product and not having a witness line, but really happy with the colors as far as the purples and the yellows. So we'll go ahead and get this on the lathe. Right now I have it just chucked up to a faceplate. I sanded down the little piece of scrap wood I was using for filler just so it would sit on there nice and straight. So at this point, I'm fairly happy with the shape and the size of it, so we're going to go ahead and start sanding. I'm not going to show the whole sanding process just because that gets really boring, but I am using a 60 grit sanding wheel on a drill right now, and I'm just going to alternate between that and regular sandpaper all the way down to 600 grit. So now that the sanding's done, I'm going to go ahead and put the sanding sealer on, and today I am using the Mylan sanding sealer. I really like this sanding sealer because it doesn't have like a dark color to it. It doesn't really darken the wood very much or give it like a reddish hue like the other sanding sealer I use. So we're going to go ahead and just put this on the inside and the outside, and then we'll get to polishing. That sanding sealer has sat and cured overnight, so now I'm just going to knock all the high spots down with a piece of Scotch Brite. And we're going to go to using the Axe abrasive sanding paste. I really like what this does to resin between this and the polish that Axe makes. I think it really gives it an amazing finish and an awesome shine. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Right now I'm only showing me doing the outside of the bowl, but I did do the inside. Same process. You put it on, buff it in, run the lathe, and then get all of it off. You basically just keep wiping the paper towel on it until it comes out clean. So with that done, we'll move on to the restoring polish. And that's pretty much the same concept as the sanding paste. We're just going to put it on a high speed and use it as a friction polish, and then get the rest of it off. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and finish this with Obi's Shine Juice. This is a fresh batch that I just mixed up, so it's not in a jar or anything. So we're going to put that on at a high speed and let that do its thing. So at this point, I've got a few coats on the inside and the outside, and this bowl is done. I am really happy with how this turned out. I really like the texture and the colors of the spalted wood and how that kind of plays into the different swirls and colors in the resin. I think this looks really good. I would have liked to gone a little thinner, but the wood was not all the way to the edge in the bucket, so there was some resin on the outside of it, and I didn't want to do too much thinner on the inside of the bowl because I would lose some of that wood up on the side there. So it's a little thicker, but overall I think it's great, and I really love the colors of it.